Who's house? Rams house. You know who we rollin' with. Golden Rams Buzz Podcast. Hit like, share, and link. Who's house? Rams house. You know who we rollin' with. Golden Rams Buzz Podcast. Home of the champions. Who's house? Rams house. You know who we rollin' with. Golden Rams Buzz Podcast. Hit like, share, and link. Who's house? Rams house. You know who we rollin' with. Golden Rams Buzz Podcast. Home of the champions. When I need a scoop on the league, I hit up the dream team. Golden Rams Buzz.
Welcome to season 3, episode 1 of the Golden Round Buzz podcast with Damon and 2023 Fan of the Year, Sal Martinez. Yeah, how you doing, Sal?
Thank you.
New year,
yeah.
New times, Rams. Wow, welcome back, huh?
Oh man, it's gonna be exciting. You know, New Year, same passion though, same passion. Excited about this team. Excited about the possibilities. I think that the Rams will surprise a lot of people this year. We're gonna have a good year.
Yes. Oh, I forgot to mention, our guest will be DJ Dazzler. Finally, Sal.
Yeah,
we finally got on the show. We follow her on social media. Her energies everywhere. It's impeccable. Yes. I love watching her stories. I love watching what she does. And I can't wait to see, you know, how she got started DJing, how her Ram fandom.
Yeah.
And
one of the hardest working women in LA.
Yeah, man. She's everywhere.
She's all over
I'm like, everywhere. And I can't wait to
it's cool to finally meet up and be able to talk some
pick her brain.
Yeah.
With that being said, Sal, this Thursday, NFL season starts. 2 teams that played last year, KC and Baltimore. We know how that ended.
Yeah.
They're playing in KC, 2-time defending champions, Kansas City Chiefs. What do you think about that game, Sal? What are you looking forward to?
It's going to be exciting. I think Kansas City is I think they're going to, make they'll probably represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. I think Baltimore's a good team, but I think Kansas City will be closing on a 3-peat. But the only team that will be able to beat them will be the LA Rams.
The who?
LA Rams. So you know how we do it. Come on. So I think when I went to the Super Bowl, I saw there was like 5 plays that Purdy didn't make, and I know that Matthew Stafford will make. So I think the Rams will beat them. And like I said, I'll take Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, Kyron Williams over any head coach, quarterback, running back in the NFC.
Last year around this time, Sal, everybody assumed the Rams were going to tank.
Yes.
They ended the season with a loss to Detroit. We play them again this Sunday in Detroit. Detroit's bringing out all the black uniforms and all this and all that. Last year we lost by 1 point. Whatever was controversy at the end, it doesn't matter. The Rams still lost.
Yeah, we still lost.
We have to beat them, Sal, this game because I think the Lions had their chest out. They're already saying they're going to make the Super Bowl, this and that, but you have to play the game. My question is this, Sal. What do you think about this upcoming team going into this season? Last year, we both said the Rams are going to, I said 10-7.
Yeah,
I believe you said 10-7. What do you think the Rams are going to do this year and why?
This year, I'm going to go with at least 12 victories because, it's amazing that, you're not going to replace Aaron Donald. So without Aaron Donald, it just seems like the Rams, like a lot of people that are, making predictions about the NFL upcoming season, they think because the Rams no longer have Donald that pretty much our chances are, have dropped like drastically. But I think the Rams, they were able to address a lot of their needs through the draft. And I think the Rams hit it out of the park with the draft picks. And so what I like about this upcoming game is that the Ram rookies, nobody really has seen them on tape because they didn't play in preseason, but they have been dominant in training camp. So I think I predict that the Rams are going to have at least 5 sacks.
Okay.
I know that Jared Goff's going to try and get rid of the ball quickly, but I think with the pressure that Braden Fisk and also Jared Verse, bring, and not to mention, Byron Young, and the pass rush will be there. So I think we'll be able to surprise the Lions, I think, with the Rams' speed on defense. And I think one of the funniest things is that, the Rams are having that viewing party at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. So it'll be kind of nice because we'll be able to bury the Lions before we leave that place. So, yeah, we'll be ready to
You said something interesting, Sal. You said there's no film of Jared Verse or Brandon Fisk on tape.
Yes.
Why is that? Why didn't the Rams play them in training camp? Explain to people that, Sal.
Well, in my opinion, I think what the Rams did is as they saw them, and they saw their speed and stuff, I think the Rams, much like they did with Puka, when you kind of, if you have the ability to rest them and also develop a lot of depth. You know, like when you watch the Rams preseason games, the Rams are still, you know, flying around, and you're looking at, you know, second and third stringers without even seeing the Rams started. So I think now, without tape or anything, it's going to be tough to, you know, try and prepare for the Rams. So I think the Rams are going to jump on the Lions early. And I think as the season goes on, teams will start, you know, finding ways or trying to figure out ways to, you know, prevent the Rams pass rush.
And Sal, you and I attended maybe a lot of the training camps
Yes.
at LMU.
Yeah.
They switched from UCI to LMU. And what I saw Verse and Fisk killing like fast and quick. And I was like, wow. Like to me, that's when the Rams knew, hey, stay out of the preseason. Let's let them, we let these boys rest because we know what they're about to do during the season.
Yes.
And that's a big compliment to not play rookies, to not play them in preseason at all, to get ready for the season. You know how great you have to be for that to happen?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting when you look at, like, you know, when they're talking about projected, you know, rookie of the years or some of the candidates, they don't even include, you know, Jared Verse or Braden Fisk because they haven't seen, you know, any of their body of work. But I like it that way. I'd rather surprise people, and you know, the Rams will earn their respect, you know, week by week.
Obviously, the Rams had a great draft. Fisk, Verse, player Cartney, Blake Corum to back up Kyrie.
Oh man,
What do you think about that 1-2 punch of the running backs? Do you like that? Do you like two running backs, or you just like one bell cow? What do you think about that?
Well, I think in the NFL today, I think you need to have at least two good running backs. And when you look at the Rams Lions playoff game, once Kyron went out with a hand injury, I mean, our running game pretty much was null and void. I mean, they brought in Ronnie Rivers, but I mean, the Rams became one dimensional when they became a passing team, and you know, kind of forcing the ball to Puka because we're running out of options with Tyler Higbee being injured also. So I think now having two running backs that, you know, once, you know, Kyron comes out, you know, for a breather, there won't be no drop off. So the Rams offensive line's a lot more, you know, it's bigger and more physical. So the Rams are going to be able to run the ball a lot more efficient. And then you also think of, you know, as far as receiver wise, I mean, another gem in Jordan Whittington. So you think about Whittington, and then look at the development of, you know, Davis Allen. I mean, he was coming on strong towards the end of the year. So it'll, you know, allow the Rams, you know, to kind of rest up Higbee, and he'll come, you know, maybe around playoff time, which will be really efficient, and it'll be a big boost for the Rams.
To me, the most important Rams draft pick, I've been saying it all training camp, but putting it on social media.
Oh yeah.
Josh Cartney, the field goal kicker.
Yeah,
because last year the Rams field goal kicking was atrocious. We lost a couple games because of it. We lost points. We lost missing extra points, missing field goals. I believe Cartney. I'm seeing this in my head, Sal. He's going to kick a 53-yarder to win a big game for us. I keep on thinking 53 yards, Sal.
I definitely wouldn't be surprised. You know, when we saw him at, you know, when we went to, you know, the Rams for that class, you did see that. I mean, he's built for LA, and he's built for the LA Rams. I mean, he wanted to be a Ram, and now the fact that he is with the Rams, he is. I mean, he is the real deal, you know. And it's hard to get. We already have a punter in Evans, you know, Ethan Evans. But so now to be able to have a good kicker and punter again, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
But you're right, though. That is without a kicker that you have confidence in, it changes your play calling a lot because you're really limited. You can't go for, you know, which would be like, you know, they should be almost guaranteed field goals. You can't think that way without a good kicker. So,
and you got to remember, Sal, last year, Cooper Kupp was hurt, and a guy named Puka Nacua, nobody ever heard of before, stepped up and set rookie records. You know, the first 4 games, and ended up having a rookie record.
Yeah, speaking of Puka, I mean, like a lot of fans, I think that, not just because I'm a Rams fan, but I think Puka Nacua was, you know, worthy of being rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. I mean, everything he did, he was worthy of that. Yeah.
Now, this is the first time they were playing together at the start of the season.
Yes.
I can't wait to see what scheme Sean McVay puts together with Matthew Stafford and, you know, all this stuff. And then, the friggin' eyed about the new punt return rule. What do you think about Kyron Williams, the Rams start running back on the punt return team?
Well, you know, it was funny because I was laughing at a lot of the responses from the Ram fans, but you know, like Kyron was saying, that McVay told him at the beginning of training camp that he wanted him to start, you know, fielding punts. So it wasn't like they just out of nowhere decided that. I mean, I think anytime you have your best playmaker on the team, anytime you can get the ball in his hands, it's going to make a difference. And I think also with the new kickoff rule, I think, you know, it puts a ball in play. And I think by the end of the season, you're going to see. You're going to see that there'll be that teams will start using a running back, in that position instead of having a receiver. You'll have a running back, and so I think with Kyron, if you have some some skills like he does, you're going to be able to break a couple of those those runs because all you need is one or two blocks and you're gone. Yeah. So I think the fans that don't like it. I mean, I would never question McVay. He's been in the league long enough, and he's proven that. He knows what he's doing. And I think anytime you always put the ball in your playmaker's hands. So I'm excited to see that. People are, what if he gets hurt? I'm like, what if he doesn't?
Yeah, what if he doesn't?
Right? You can't play scared.
Yes.
When you play scared like that, you don't win games.
Yes.
And that's been like I used to laugh. I remember it was called. I said. For us Rams fans, it was called Loser's Delight. Like you expect to lose. Those days are gone. Yeah. Under Coach McVay, all that's the thing of the past. The Rams are aggressive. They don't think about, they don't flinch. They're always, positive and moving in the right direction. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. I think Kyron, he's a great player. The more times he touches the ball, the better things will happen.
Okay, so with that being said, we're going to introduce our guest, DJ Dazzler, stepping up.
Amazing.
See what she has to say.
It's finally happened.
Yes.
It's so cool to have her here, and I can't wait to see what you got.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Our guest has been DJing for 15 years. She's been a tour DJ for NASCAR, Pitbull, Iggy Azalea, a featured DJ for Netflix, Hulu, Disney. She's DJed for Bon Jovi, Too Short, Warren G. Her celebrity clientele includes Wolfgang Puck, Gabrielle Union, Casey Wasserman. Ladies and gentlemen, besides that, she's a huge Rams fan. Big round of applause for DJ Dazzler.
You listed those things off. I'm like, oh yeah, I did do that. I forget sometimes, Yeah. So thank you for hyping me up. I'm so honored to be here, Damon.
Thank you so much for joining us. Last year we tried to get you on, things happen, but I'm so glad you're here. I love your energy. I love you on social media. I watch you all the time. I'm like, where's she at now? Okay, where's she at?
I'm so honored to kick off the season with you all today.
Thank you so much. We love to have you here. What got you into DJing? How'd you start?
Yeah. I've always been a fan of music, but not a musician by trade.
Okay.
So grew up on disco music, very 80s, classic rock, hip hop, but knew I wanted to channel that energy in a way that made sense. So I'm like, I want to be a DJ. And I really learned through people in LA local radio. So if you all are Angelinos here at Power 106, those guys, I went to a DJ school in Los Angeles and really learned to hone in the skill and found why I love it so much, just like sports, and how it brings people together. And really, the minute I learned, I was a quick learner. I was able to infuse myself in places like music and sports. If you channel your interest in a place that you're passionate about, the sky's the limit. So I never would ever think that I would be DJing at stadiums on tour, ever, like getting a paycheck doing this, because I would do this for free, and it's paying the bills handsomely. So it's working out. But thank you again for hyping me up. I'm so excited to be here.
I failed to mention you DJ for the Kings as well, right?
Yeah, LA Kings. I'm a guest DJ for the LA Kings, another great LA local team, and it makes me appreciate Los Angeles is the epicenter for entertainment and sports. We have it world class. Every category. We have great teams. We have two of everything.
True that. Very
can't keep up. We have two of everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rams being back in LA is such a great way to celebrate the things that I love. So, and what I specifically love about how music has brought me into the world of sports is really meeting passionate people like you and our communities. I mean, our tailgates go off.
Awesome.
And when the season's not even happening, everyone's still active and we still get to connect with each other. But I'm glad everything's ramping back up because I'm really excited for the season. And
I see you all rammed up. Obviously, you're a huge Rams fan. What made you a Rams fan and who's your favorite all-time Rams player?
Well, it's funny you say that because I'm a rather new Rams fan. So think Fisher to McVay era. That's when I started really. So I was living in Los Angeles at the time when I saw SoFi being built.
Wow.
And I just thought, oh, that's going to be a special place. Every day I saw it just being built. I'm like, this is going to be unlike any structure I don't think mankind has seen. It's going to be state of the art. It's going to be like none like any other arena you've been to. And then when it was declared that was going to be Rams home, I'm like, I want to support my local team. So because by default, my family are Bengals fans.
Wait, what?
Yeah. You didn't know that? So when
Bengals?
Yes.
Man, I only know one Bengals fan. His
Yeah.
name's Patelli, Professor Patelli. Bengals? What?
It was like always Who Day in the household. So when we played, in the Super Bowl, that was a very tense, what do you call, household.
Okay.
We were in, and they played them here. I would have loved to take my dad to that, but no, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Sally got the plug in Super Bowl tickets. Even like a 50% discount, still $10,000, huh? Like on Super Bowl tickets.
Yeah, I did.
And now they're coming back again, right?
Yeah, they're coming back in 2 years, I believe. Like it's gonna go. This year's in New Orleans,
Yeah.
San Francisco, and then SoFi again.
You mentioned, like players and things like that. I want to mention something on the reverse. Like you'd mentioned it on how these new young players are taking turn. Like, are you keeping your eye on Whittington? Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
I am watching him like a hawk, which makes me question: how do you feel about some of the releases that have happened, like a Skoranek or something like that? Like, look at these new hungry wide receivers that actually are not taking on other positions.
It's part of the business, Dad.
It
like
is.
NFL, like this, not for long. People come and go all the time, but I'm a fan of the team.
Me too.
I'm a fan of the players as well.
Yeah.
But once they leave the Rams or things happen, I'm a Rams since I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 48 now. That's 43 years. So I've been
Wow.
through the most tragic event that happened.
Oh, you've seen it
Eric
all.
Dickerson getting traded when I
Why
was a
you
kid.
look so young after this team has
I tell
put you
my-
through?
But Eric Dickerson getting traded, I was like, oh my God. I was like a little kid and that devastated me. But later on in life, I figured, okay, players come and go. But if you're a fan, you never leave.
Right. And you go with the changes. And
Yes, you go with the changes. Good, bad, indifferent.
what I love about this new generation, like especially with McVay and Snead, they are making progressive decisions.
Yes.
I mean, did you love when Aubrey Pleasant play called
Yes.
the Chargers?
Yes.
Everyone in the league, this sounds so biased, but I think everyone wants a piece of Sean McVay.
They do.
They do.
He has a tree. He has a tree.
They steal all of our coaches. That goes to show you, I think this old way, think about it. Look at your Belichick's and your Carrolls. I mean, Reed's still up there, but that way of coaching and that style that very seasoned is my nice way of saying it, way of coaching, I think is slowly seeing an expiration date. And you have really, out of regular play calling that's happening, that's risk taking and whatnot. And you made a good point about our new kicker.
Claire, yeah, we need him to come through.
Last year, we had made so many disappointing losses, all because of what? A 2-point kick, one point conversion or anything like that. Like it's or 2-point conversion or one point extra goal. Those were devastating.
Yeah, were. And it's devastating because all you need is like a couple points and at the end of the game, you're like, oh, we lost by 1 point. We lost by 2 points. And then the Rams give up 6 points.
He went to, I forgot his name. He went to the Colts, like a big.
Matt Gay.
Yeah.
And then we had Matt Gay and then we had other people after that, but it just didn't work out.
The guy from Dallas.
Yeah,
Oh, yikes.
Ben Maher. Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the biggest, in your estimate, arena, place, whatever, that you've DJ, artist, whoever? Like who, in your opinion, who's the biggest artist you've DJed for, or whatever, celebrity, artist, whoever?
I'll answer that in 2 parts.
Okay.
The biggest crowd I ever DJed for, 140,000 people, NASCAR Talladega. Like, you hear?
Wait, was Ricky Bobby there?
You think, right? Talladega is another beast in its own. It is very, your true NASCAR fans, it's the tailgate is insane. 140K. So that was including stands and then people who also camp out. That you can camp. So unlike, God, it would be cool if Rams did this. NASCAR fans camp out. There's a campground for fans and they go wild for like 2-3 days.
Wow.
So I wish NFL had that kind of culture. That'd be cool. Biggest person I've DJed for. So I performed with Bon Jovi.
Performed? Meaning
I did. DJ'd and it was DJ he sang and I opened up for him. So a big, you may or may not know this name. And if not, y'all will get familiar because he's the commissioner of the LA Olympics, Casey Wasserman.
Oh, yeah, Casey Wasserman. Yeah.
Big LA name.
I used to work, a long time ago, I used to work at the LA Avengers as an
intern.
Really? So I know all about the Wasserman and all his father and all that. Yeah.
I DJ'd his birthday party, his 40th birthday party. And I just remember, I see that mixing board like there. I just couldn't believe myself. I was like, Volume A, DJ Dazzler, Volume B, John Bon Jovi. I have a picture of that. I have to send it to you. I performed with him. So you think, I've had some wow moments. Pitbull, performing with Pitbull, opening up his shows in the South. Pitbull has a very diverse audience. I think he's the only modern day artist who has an audience, young and old, racial boundaries, and he knows how to speak to his audience. And I'm on his Sirius XM show as well, Channel 13, Sirius XM,
Well,
Globalization.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then, gosh, I think I have to pause when you ask that because I don't look at it that way. Every opportunity I get behind the decks to me is such a blessing. So I could DJ for 2 people or thousands or a VIP, and I like to bring that energy.
I got it. I want to have you DJed at SoFi before.
I have DJed at SoFi before, private event.
What?
Yeah, so I've done SoFi, I've done Angel Stadium. Have I done Dodgers? I've done BMO.
I know
Stadium.
BMO,
Many times. I've done on that. Yeah, all private events. But I want a gun for a big spot there at SoFi.
Yeah. So when I go to the concert, the next concert, the big concert, I'm gonna look for you to open up for somebody.
Put in a word
I'm
for
putting
me.
a word for you. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause for DJ Dazzler. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey, you can follow. Give your social. Let people know where to find you.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, DJ_Dazzler. And also my website has a plethora of information and all the accolades that Damon has graciously shared, or reminded me, I should say, DJDazzler.com. And I hope to see you all in the stands at all the home games.
Yes. Whose house?
Rams house.
Whose house?
Rams
One more
house.
time. Whose house?
Rams
Woo!
house.
Thank you for joining us. Yay!
That was awesome. You're right about it being the smart business moves and how it trickles down all the way to the coaching.
Yeah.
And I feel like is McVay still the youngest head coach?
No, now he's the second. Yeah, he's the second youngest.
Even still, all what he's accomplished and just even just breathing football. And that guy has a photographic memory. He can remember play call, not even from his team, like play calls from years ago, and likes to duplicate them and
definitely
make them his own.
But what was interesting is like when the Rams returned to LA, I remember, we were all excited that the Rams came back, and I remember the tailgate. It was a preseason game with against the Cowboys, and so it was the highest rated preseason game ever at the Coliseum. So everybody was excited. Tailgate was great, and I remember we get into the stadium, packed house, opening kickoff, Rams kickoff, and the Cowboys run it back for a touchdown. And I remember that familiar pain in my heart. I was like, oh my God, I thought, is this going to be the omen of the Rams returning? But little did we know McVay was right around the corner. And, because of his age, a lot of people were kind of hesitant. They thought he was too young.
He had experience
Right. But the Rams are so fortunate to have him as a coach. And I think that even when you go anywhere around the Rams organization, you can feel, you already know who's in charge, who's running things, but McVay doesn't need to, throw his weight around. He already knows. And the respect that the players, the employees, everybody has for Coach McVay is amazing.
He just breeds amazing coaches. And again, him giving the baton to Aubrey Pleasant to do the play calling, was it for the Chargers preseason game?
Yeah, it was a preseason game.
And I saw Aubrey, I'd never seen him publicly talk or anything like that, but his winning speech in the locker room, I was like, wow, that guy is going to be a stellar coach one day. Yeah.
It's amazing. The Patriots used to be the team that, would kind of rehab, players, coaches that their careers were kind of going down, and you would go to the Patriots, and because of the Patriot way, you would kind of, get respect, work with the Patriot organization under Belichick, and then you would get another opportunity. But no coach, I've been a fan forever. I've never seen an NFL coach put out so many great coaches in the NFL. And not only does he make the Rams better, he makes the NFL better.
He makes our league
the whole league is better.
The franchise. Are we number 4 in the most valuable?
Yeah,
NFL
I think number 3 now. Yeah,
it's insane. One being it's still Cowboys, right? 2, it's not Patriots, is it?
No, the Rams are ahead of the Patriots. I think it's
Chiefs.
No, I think it's the Rams. I think it's the Cowboys, and I think it's the Rams. But there's, as far as like sports franchise, the Yankees, I think, are one of the top teams, and then the Rams. So the Rams are like the 3rd most valuable.
Even if you think LA, we have so many incredible sports franchise here. It's crazy. It's very easy to become a sports fan in Los Angeles.
Well, like when the Rams left Los Angeles, and I stayed loyal. I knew I opened my shop in '94, the year the Rams left. So I was like one of the loneliest, Ram fans left. And some people would walk by and they're like, how could you cheer for a team that left you? I said, the Rams never left me. They just left for a better deal. And I said, they're like, how can you cheer for a team that's in a different state? And I said, well, have you ever, I said, to me, the Rams are like family. I said,
Yeah.
have you ever had a friend move away? Do you stop talking to them when your friend moves away? I mean, when you have an invested, a friendship and also memories and connections, no way am I going to turn my back on the Rams. They're still the Rams. I mean, we got them from Cleveland. So they originated in Cleveland. They came out to LA in 1946. So the history was there. But to me, no matter where the Rams play, it was going to be the same.
They were playing at Angel Stadium too, right?
Yeah, they did. They played from 1980 to 1994.
Wow.
So the Rams have always, and so as a fan, they started out in the Coliseum,
Right.
from 1946 to 79. Yeah. Then they went to the Super Bowl and they lost 31-19 in Super Bowl 14 to the Steelers. And then after that season, that's when they came to Anaheim. But Carol Rosenblum, he passed away. And so their vision was kind of off. It just never worked out well in Orange County. But they were supposed to develop a lot of the property, which is now the Honda Center. That was supposed to be the Rams property, and they would have moved all the headquarters.
I didn't know. Wow.
Yeah. So it would have been amazing, but
or
without
Arrowhead Pond back in the day.
yes,
right?
yeah. But without Carol Rosenblum's vision, it just never happened. So when the Rams moved to St. Louis, I tell people, you don't realize how fortunate we are to live in LA. When you travel around and then you hear people like, I'd always go to, a lot of Ram road games and even in St. Louis, and everybody would be like, wow, you're from LA. That's my dream to go to LA. I said, and so, some people would tease me in St. Louis. They're like, wow, I feel sorry for you. This was when the Rams first moved there from like 94 to 97. They struggled before Coach Vermeil took over. And they're like, wow, I feel sorry for you. You have to fly all the way out here to Missouri to watch the Rams lose. And I said, yeah, but I get to go back home to LA. Don't feel sorry for me. I get to go back to
you
LA.
Have the long-term deal.
Yeah. And so it's amazing that ever since the Rams returned and under the Stan Kroenke ownership, the Rams have done everything that I dreamt as a kid. Everything. The way they're marketing in the community, the schools, all the work they do. The Rams are so invested in the LA market, the LA community.
Yeah.
That it's so cool. And then I see like a lot of, you see the fan base, growing now. I see a lot of adults, maybe wearing an Eagles jersey, but their kids are wearing Ram jerseys. So it is working. So the next generation will be.
We are
Ram
definitely
fans.
growing the fan base for sure.
Yeah.
And I love how it's more of a global brand, even
Yes,
beyond
yeah.
the LA reach. And again, you come here and you're in the epicenter of sports and entertainment. So tell me this, when you found out the Rams were coming back, what was your immediate feeling?
Oh, that's so amazing.
Where were you in your life?
Yeah, that's so amazing because that's the first time someone asked me that question. And it was funny because I opened my shop, like I said, in 94.
Yeah.
And so in 2009, I had a Facebook page. And there was also another page called Bring Back the LA Rams. So I was kind of working with them. So we kind of worked together. So I started getting a feel that there was a possibility that the Rams could return to LA. So my license plate in 2011, I got my plate and it says Rams to LA. And I remember when I was at the DMV, she's like, Rams to LA, they're in St. Louis. I said, I know, but they're going to come back. I don't think so. They're in St. Louis. And I said, okay, they'll be back. So, I kept hearing that it was getting, it was kind of like, she loves me not. She loves me because there was good news, bad news, good news, bad news. And then finally, when it was official, I'll never forget because I remember the day, and they said they were going to announce it officially, like about 5:30. And so I had my customer at 5. I finished up at 5:30. And so when I finished up my customer and then I walked him out and I turned off the light and it was amazing. I started walking back, towards my shop and then all of this emotion, just, it was like overwhelming. It was amazing because, I tell people as I walk back here, like all this emotion just came out and I like broke down. And it was funny. The phone rang and I saw the caller ID said 1070 KNX 1070. So I answered the phone and she's like, oh, can I speak to Sal? And I said, speaking. And she goes, oh, Sal, this is 1070 KNX. She goes, yeah, we know you're a big Rams fan. How do you feel the Rams are coming back? And then she said, I said, oh, this is unbelievable. She said, I bet this is like the happiest day of your life. And I said, second. I said, I'm a father. So, my daughter being born. But she goes, are you crying, Sal? And I said, yeah. And she goes, oh, this is amazing. So I never got to the feeling that the emotions that I was experiencing was almost like if you had a best friend and your friend said, oh, I'm going to leave in 2 weeks. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks come and then your friend's like, oh, he left like 3 days ago. And they never told you they were leaving. you never got that closure. And that's kind of how I felt when the Rams went to St. Louis. And it was amazing because I said, like, when the Rams went to St. Louis, I'd go, watch them play. But it just felt weird because it was like, it's like if you have a friend that moves away and they're going to get married or something and they invite you to the wedding and you fly out there, they introduce you to all their new friends and they're nice people and everything, but it's not like how it is when it's just you and her or you and him. Like, hey, you remember when we used to do this? So they didn't share a lot of, the passion or a lot of the memories that I did from LA. So I just made the best of it. But when they officially came out here, it was amazing. But that feeling, I finally got all the emotion out after that phone call. So the light was off and I just went home. A lot of people went to SoFi Stadium, to the site to party. But I was so drained over the years and I just wanted to just experience that moment alone.
That alone already feels like a Super Bowl moment. The fact they're coming back. And now the 2023 fan of the year, you are known in this community. You're a staple in this community.
Thank you. And it was again, like, so people ask me about. It was funny about when the Rams brought the trophy here, because usually when I do, if I do an interview, I'm facing the front of my shop, and then they use this for the backdrop.
Yeah.
But this time I was facing this way, and they put the cameras this way. So I thought that's different. So I was facing the back of my shop. And I took a picture. I thought, this is odd, but I didn't know what they were doing. And it was funny because when I was sitting here, they edited, of course. But when they surprised me, they were here before. And so he walks out and all of a sudden I hear the door and I was kind of mad. Like the look on my face, I was kind of upset because that door, every time you hear that door, that bell, it drives me crazy. And so when he came in, he said, excuse me, I have an appointment, and I said, so when he comes in, he goes, excuse me, I have an appointment. I'm thinking, I blocked out time. I don't have, my next appointment's at 2:30. So he says, I have an appointment. I said, but they were asking me questions, so I didn't want to turn around. So I said, with who? And he said, with Vince. And I'm thinking, my name's Sal, not Vince, but he was referring to the Vince Lombardi trophy. Yeah. So I said, what time? And he says, 12 o'clock. And I'm thinking, and I said, are you sure you got the right place? And when I said that, he said, I definitely got the right place. And then I turned around. And so when I stood up, Terrell Burgess is standing here. So I get up and I'm looking at Burgess and then I'm looking at the trophy. And it's funny because, right there, right here in this picture right there. This one right here. Ever since I was a kid, I studied the Vince Lombardi trophy. So I knew that it was 22 inches tall. It weighed 7 pounds. It was made by Tiffany and Company. It's made of sterling silver. So all those, the specs I knew. So when I'm looking at the trophy and he has it in his hand, I'm looking like, man, that was a trophy that, they've just passed around at SoFi when the Rams won, the one they had on the parade.
Right.
And then when I looked, there was some Ram personnel standing here.
Right.
And they're like, man, Sal, as soon as we won, the first thing they said is, we're going to take it to Sal. We want Sal to hold the trophy. And I just thought, like, I was overwhelmed. I'm looking at the trophy and my mind went back to when I became a fan, 1969 with Roman Gabriel. And I'm like, man, Roman Gabriel never got to hold it. George Allen, Fearsome Foursome, all these Ram great players and coaches and all my friends that never got to hold it. And yet I had the luxury of holding it. So yeah, that's what was going through my mind. So it was amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for this season. And hopefully we get to see that trophy back where it belongs.
Yeah. Oh, and really quick, another story that was really cool is one of my customers, he gave me, his dad passed away. They were big Ram fans. So his dad gave me that Ram chair. And so his dad used to sit in that Ram chair. So when the Rams moved, he told me that his dad passed away at in his late 50s. So he was young, but he said when the Rams moved that broke his heart and he ended up passing away. But so when I had the trophy, they're like, take as many pictures as you want, so I had 45 minutes. And so I put the trophy in the chair and I took a picture and then later on I sent it to the family. Oh. I said, oh man, your dad would have been happy to see the chair that he sits in actually have the Vince Lombardi trophy in it.
That's pretty legendary.
Yeah. So
you are as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. For me, I just love sharing my passion with fans. And to me, it doesn't matter when you became a fan. It's more about passion. Mm-hmm. I know people that have been Ram fans for a long time, but they're like, you know, they're jaded or they don't have energy. I approach every season, you know, who's going to win the Super Bowl? I said, the Rams are going to win.
Of course.
You say that every year. And I said, and I will continue. I believe that.
Yeah.
I actually believe the Rams are going to win.
Yeah.
But this year, I do believe they're going to beat the
let's
Chiefs.
take it. 2025.
Yeah. All right, perfect.
Great interview with DJ Dazzler, Sal. That was amazing. Like,
Oh,
just her
that was
knowledge.
amazing,
and,
yeah.
her DJ
You know-
experience. Bon Jovi. I'm like, whoa. Like, that's from, like,
You know, one of the best statements she said was, and I agree 100%, and that is a true professional. Like, no matter how big the crowd is, your energy is the
thank
same,
you.
right?
People don't think like that.
Yeah, and people don't understand, like, in life, it's all about, like I said, you never chase, you attract, right?
Yep.
And so when you have the right vibe,
It doesn't
people
matter.
are going to find you.
Yes.
I remember when the Rams came back and a couple of people came into my shop. They're like, oh, man, you should move your shop to SoFi. I said, no, my heart and soul is here in Westminster,
Yeah.
California. Yeah, but you'll get more attention. I said, you know what? I'll get enough attention. They'll find me.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be in anything you do. You give 100%, you do what you do, and they'll find you.
Whether there's 2 or 2 million people, you still get the same energy.
Yes.
Well, let's
I
close
agree.
it out, Sal. Let's go through. I'm gonna ask you about who you think is gonna win the division games. We're gonna talk about the 3 or 4 games. You know, the primetime
Sure.
games we're gonna bring up. So, Sal, in the AFC West, we got the Jets, Dolphins, Patriots, and Buffalo Bills. Who do you think wins that division?
I say the Bills.
The Bills. Okay. Why you say that?
I just have a feeling that the Bills are finally going to get it together.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that Josh Allen's taking a beating in the offseason. And I just think now that people aren't really, you know, people are kind of down on him. I think he'll finally pull through and do well. The Dolphins are good, but I just, I don't know. To me, I got to see, you know, Tua win some big
So
games.
you got the Bills win the AFC. It's in the AFC North. Ooh, this is the beat up division. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. Who do you got?
I say Baltimore.
Baltimore. Okay, we'll see on Thursday. The AFC South. This is a division up for
Yeah,
grabs.
but
We
that
got the
one's crazy,
Jacksonville, Tennessee, Houston, and Indianapolis Colts. Who's your division winner?
I would say, that was going to be tough. I think I would say,
You can't.
yeah, that one. I'll go back to that one. That one's
Hey,
kind of hard.
okay, for me,
'cause I've been thinking about that,
Yeah.
and there is a couple of teams that I think could surprise somebody.
For the AFC East, I got the Buffalo. AFC North, Baltimore. The AFC South, everybody thinks it's going to be Houston. I believe that as well. The AFC West, that's a gimme division. Denver, Vegas Raiders, KC.
Yeah.
And Denver, come on, man. It's in the Chargers. Okay. KC's going to win the division.
Mm-hmm.
The NFC East, Philly, Dallas, Washington. Who's that other team? Giants. Oh, Giants are not going to be nowhere. But who you got between those technically 4 teams? But
Yeah. Some of these divisions are really hard because, you know, the first thing I look at is coach
yeah,
and then quarterback. But a lot of these teams, they're all,
yeah.
the parity is so great in these teams because none of them really stand out. So it's really a toss-up.
Now, the NFC North division, we got the Bears, Lions, Green Bay, and Detroit. I think Green Bay wins the division.
I think, I like Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love's going to be a good quarterback.
I got love for love, except when he plays the Rams.
Yeah, same.
Now, the most terrible division, in my opinion, fans, I don't care if you get mad. To me, the most worst division is the NFC South. Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Carolina, and Atlanta. A team's going to be 7-10 and win the division. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Bucks.
The Bucks? You say the Bucks going to win the division? You think so?
I think so, yeah.
I think it'll be a sleeper. Don't be surprised if Atlanta wins that division, Sal.
Well, I think people
Kirk
are falling
Cousins,
all over.
yeah.
But Kirk Cousins just, you know, I think Baker Mayfield is special, and I think he'll put it together this year.
Now, I'm not going to talk about all the games. I'm just going to talk about the primetime games. We'll save the best for last. So let's go first. Thursday, Chiefs versus Ravens. Who you got and why?
Chiefs versus Ravens, I say Chiefs.
Yeah.
I go with Chiefs because, you know, Mahomes is hard to beat. And I think a lot of times when teams try and play the Chiefs, you know, I mean, the Chiefs are beatable.
Remember last year they lost on opening night to the
Yeah.
Lions.
They did. But, I mean, I think the Chiefs are a better team. I think, to me, Lamar Jackson is still a question mark. You got to win playoff games.
We got the Eagles in Green Bay and Brazil. That's a soccer game, Sal. No.
But that's going to be crazy.
I think it'd be a close score.
I say Green Bay wins.
I got the Eagles. I think the Eagles.
Do you think the Eagles are gonna
win 21-17.
Yeah.
Sunday night, Rams and Lions. The rematch, Sal. The
Rams and
rematch
Lions,
in Motown.
Mm. You know what's interesting about that game? At first, I wanted that game to be on Thanksgiving, right? Because the last time the Rams played on Thanksgiving was, I think, 1975, and it was against the Lions. So I thought this year it'd be cool to have the Rams and Lions. You'd be able to see Matthew Stafford on Thanksgiving and also Jared Goff. But I actually preferred to play them first.
Okay.
Because, I mean, the way that the game ended, it was chippy, and there was some plays that I really wasn't, I never complained about the, about the refs, but in that game, I thought that the Lions were able to get away with some of the calls. So I'm glad that they're playing it first game, and the Rams will be able to set the tone for that, for the season.
And in the week off, we got the Jets and the Niners. Last year, Aaron Rodgers got hurt, like third, fourth play of the game, out for the year. Still got the hype behind them. Jets, Niners. Here we go again. Obviously, I'm going for the Jets. I can never root for the Niners myself personally, so I hope the Jets beat them 42-0.
I actually am going to go for the Jets in this game. Yeah. I think that Aaron Rodgers, I think he will be triumphant in the game back. I think that they have enough to beat the Niners, especially now. I mean, and that's another thing with the Niners. I always tell people the Niners have the best players, but they don't have the best team. The Rams have the best team. The Rams play together as a team, and you have to play well as a team, and they just don't do that. So, yeah. Oh, and then really quick about the Raiders. Now that I've been to SoFi, and then also Allegiant Stadium, people ask me like, what stadium is better, and how do you compare them? And I said, well, both stadiums are nice, but the easiest way, and I think the easiest way for people to be able to, everybody could relate is, I said, the Raiders Stadium is like Walmart, and the Rams Stadium is like Target. So, I mean, they're both, efficient, but I mean, I like shopping at Target.
But you got to remember, who's Stan Kroenke married to?
Yeah.
I think he owns the Raiders Stadium because you said Walmart. Yeah. I know what you mean, though, Sal. Hey, that's a wrap. Season 3, episode 1. Give a big shout out to our guest, DJ Dazzler. Our shout out to our sponsor, Brea Bakery Bread. Make sure you get your ciabatta rolls, French rolls at all your local grocery stores. Brea Bakery Bread, major sponsor of the Going Around Buzz podcast. Big shout out to our director, Angel, our guest. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tune in. We're on Amazon, Spotify. Whose house?
Rams house.
Whose house?
Rams house.
Whose house?
Day.
Rams house. See ya, so fly.